Morning video here on terrifying Category 5 Hurricane Irma, currently spinning just north of Hispaniola. If you're a southern Ontario birder like I am, the question is, will this storm reach the Great Lakes? Current indications are that this may pass just east of Florida. That track is not set in stone, so if it hits Cuba or if it comes right up through the center of the Florida Peninsula, the storm is highly unlikely to have enough energy to make it very far inland. This model run shows it just passing east of Florida, so it does maintain some of that strength, moves up into the Carolinas. Unfortunately, this high pressure over southern Ontario is going to be forcing down on the hurricane and convincing it not to come here, so it may kind of squirt to either side. Most of the model runs have it turning sort of to the west and dissipating fairly quickly because they're not enjoying that unfavorable conditions. European model shows a very similar track at the moment, but has it coming in a little further south around Georgia. It's pretty much dissipated a long ways away from this part of the world and loses its characteristics and essentially would not bring tons and tons of exciting birds. It's a long ways away, so it's definitely worth watching. The GFS ensembles can, really shows how things are. The storm was probably going to get caught up somewhere in this part of the world and not make it far enough. But being 192, 168, 200 hours out, a lot can change. So maybe that works in our favor that we still have a long time to wait, even though it feels like I've been watching this for 10 days in a row, sort of see how everything shakes down. European ensembles really show the storm dissipating long before it gets there, so that's why all these tracks end well before they get to the Great Lakes. In the meantime, if you're watching this video from other parts of the world and you think, hey, I definitely know the storm's likely to move somewhere in here, should I chase it and look for birds? Anywhere near the coast or probably most of Florida is, I would say, is an absolute no-go. Don't go there. It's potential to be a disaster zone. For perspective, the storm hit islands like Barbuda with 185-mile-an-hour winds just the other day. Hurricane Andrew, for perspective, was 160 miles an hour when it hit Florida, and it may be around that intensity when it's passing just offshore. HWRF is our most reliable model for hurricane intensities, and it has the pressure at 927 here. And this part of the world has a lot of heat in the ocean, and you can see that it drops down to 915, 911. So it's a very high-end, as big as they get, Category 5 hurricane for this part of the world. So you don't want to be there. If you're feeling particularly brave and the storm does track further east, I do know some birders in the past have been well inland at reservoirs in the Carolinas and seen birds, but it's not to be taken lightly, a storm of this size. So things can still change. The track is so fine as to whether or not it's going to curve up into Florida or stay offshore. There's nothing we can do but sit and wait. A few days later, if anything looks different or exciting, I'll make some more videos, and that's where we're at. So thoughts to those in the path of this awful storm, and we'll keep watching.